Fantastic. All right. Let's try this one more time again. We're running Dragon Quest 1 HD-2D Remake, one of the newer games that came out late last year, and this speedrun is an exercise in HP management, as we're going to spend most of it wanting to get hit repeatedly and at half health. They've done a fantastic job. I will say, hold on, nope, not that one. Let's delete this one. Done a fantastic job in this game of the art style, as well as being pretty true to the original Dragon Quest game, while still making it fun and adding a bunch of new things in. Let's get everything set up. Difficulty mode of Dragon. Gotta make sure that I actually have chat pulled up here, sorry, so I can actually see it. And I'll do my best to be as loud and boisterous as possible. Alright. Timer's ready. We are starting in 3, 2, 1, go. Alright, a bunch of early cutscenes as your hero finds a few guards out in the wilderness and is brought into Tantagel Castle. Princess Gwaelin has been kidnapped, and it is our job to save her. We're going to do some quick early menuing here. There's a lot of cutscene skipping in this run to help keep it moving fast. And a lot of quick timing. And then from the start of the game, we're going to be taking a grand journey around the world. For the first 20 minutes of the game, we're going to fight one fight. And we're going to pretty much go as far as we possibly can around trying to get return points and being able to move really quick as we go.
In days of your, yet the thou truly but
we're going to get our starting money. We're going to change a couple of settings and then get moving out of the castle as quick as we can.
Now then hide. Return, go.
Turn on battle speed. We're going to turn all the voices off. And then get sprinting. Come down here. We're going to grab a holy water out of one of the pots in here and then leave and go right outside the city. Alright, and then use our holy water quickly here. And then get sprinting. The reason we have no voices is because it takes maybe like 3 minutes out of the game time. Because their hero will grunt at the end of every large attack, and Gwaelin will talk to you later in the game after you rescue her, because we're going to spend most of the game carrying her around. With our holy water, we're going up to tag a site here. This is Erdrick's Hollow, or Tablet Cave. And then we're going to get moving to the southwest. Our first goal is to locate the town of Damdara, or Hoxtus, and get the Padfoot Scroll, which is going to turn the amount of encounters in the game we get from, like, almost down to nothing. And a lot of the game is effective use of Padfoot to avoid taking any encounters and getting moving really fast. Alright, we've entered Roadside Inn here. We're going to snag a wing of the wyvern and then get out. Yep, our goal is to get Padfoot before 6.5 minutes. We'll see here. If I can split the uprights between these two forest areas, we're close. We might be able to get an encounter skip down by the next ruins. And encounter skips are part of the way we save quite a bit of time. There's a ton of locations to go into in this game, including 4 new dungeons from the original version. We're going to use these extra locations to try to get away from fighting as much as possible. Blocked. Okay, take some damage. Blocked once, we're going to need to heal that. And go. And if we're creative with how we step, avoiding forest tiles here, staying in the grassland, we skip an encounter. Beautiful. Love it. This is the Nameless Ruins. We're going to go in. We're going to dip out. Yes, Cleave Wizard. Early staff route. Definitely. The Staff of Divine Wrath that we're going to find a little bit later is one of the best items in the game. It lets you kill a whole lot of the early game bosses without even having to worry about it. It's certainly at way lower level than we probably should. Okay, once we cross this bridge, which we're going to cross pretty quickly, under 5 minutes is good. Then we're going to be facing much harder encounters. If a physical attack gets through, we probably die. And it's very easy to die in this early section of the game. Got blocked. Sizzle, we can survive, but not too long. Okay. So we'll take a death. I usually would take, even in a no reset, even in a reset run, I'd still probably take a death and keep going. If we're before 7 minutes to Padfoot, then we're good. And we'll load from the autosave and try again. Not a whole lot you can do about this in the early phase of the game. You have to take the deaths and try to run from the fights and hope you get lucky. And it costs about 30 to 35 seconds for every death. And this is like a sub 2 hour run if you're going fast, so it's a lot. Alright, we get away from the night. We're going to take another encounter as we round the edge of the mountains here. We'll take another one in the desert and one final one in the city before Padfoot. All these enemies have something they can do that won't kill you, but if they attack you and hit, you're done. Good. Alright, we should be able to get into the city now. We'll be entering Damdar, or Hawksness from the original game, on the right-hand side, so that we can get as close to the scroll as possible after we load into the city. We'll take one encounter as we cross this swamp, and then we're going to get our Padfoot scroll. Good. And we're out. Alright, we'll use the scroll. This will reduce random encounters, and we're going to use this to go grab a whole bunch of stuff. We won't catch a fight for a long time. We're also going to set some presets here. Padfoot and Chimera Wing. Use Padfoot and run. And we're going to be into the city at the bottom, where we're going to our next item before 7 minutes. So I'm feeling comfortable with this. Alright, we're going to go in and we're going to grab an item and get out of the city before we end up taking an encounter, because every time we leave and exit and re-enter, it breaks the encounter. And then we're going to come back in and start grabbing mini-medals. This game does now have mini-medals. We're going to grab a total of 15 in the run, which gets us some of the armor and equipment that we're going to be using for the entire game, as well as the wild side scroll to get double actions, which is how we're going to break almost every boss fight. Alright, another scroll there for an ability called Demon Demeanor, which we're going to use to deal a lot of damage, because eventually we're going to be able to get something called a Soul Sigil that allows us to upgrade our abilities, and we're going to deal massive damage to bosses. Alright, grabbing this. Padfoot's about to run out. Re-up, and then we're going to go into this little secret area over here. I think we entered from the top by accident. Oops. It's fine. A little slower. We're going to grab a stealth suit. I'm going to grab a mini medal, maybe, if I can find it. There it is. And then some money. And then leave. Circling around here, we're going to stop at the Field of Flowers, which is a key item location. Tagging it breaks the encounter, and we leave again. And then down towards the south is the mini medal house. We're going to grab an item before we get in there, and then we're going to equip ourselves with a couple of accessories and some armor that we picked up. pretty slow, but that's fine. Pad foot runs out, re-up, and then we go. And we're going to dive our first dungeon. We're going to go back to Erdrick's Hollow, which is the tablet cave. Here we find several wayward adventurers that are searching for the opportunity to become the legendary hero, which we are, and they don't know. We'll run into him again at the bottom, and we'll run into him again in the story a little bit later. This game did a nice job of creating more background and NPCs and story to help fill it out a little bit, and did a really good job with extra bosses to kind of add a little bit more meat and potatoes to this game. Plus, the art style and music are amazing. Grab some magic water, another mini medal here, and then we're going to the end of the cave. If we've done it correctly, we shouldn't see an encounter. We're very careful with our movement. We have limited steps until our pad foot runs out, and we get here. We'll re-pad foot as soon as we leave the cave, because we're now that we've gone to the southwest, and we're now going to head east and get to the rest of that part of the world. Here's the tablet that tells you of the major things you have to go grab to fulfill Erdrick's legacy. We'll be searching for all that stuff here a little bit later. We're going to end up taking one encounter. Well, I guess we're taking one right here because I forgot to pad foot. Oops. Now we'll pad foot, and we'll probably take one more encounter because of that mistake on the way around. Yeah, I highly recommend this game if you haven't played it. It doesn't take terribly long to beat, and there's a lot of fun content. The really hard part is learning how to fight the bosses, because some of them are really hard. But if you watch the speedrun, you're going to get a leg up, because we're going to kill some of the bosses really quickly. Nice. No damage. Alright, we're grabbing seeds. And we're going to tag this Forgotten Ruins. We're going to grab a mini medal out of here and then dip out as quickly as we can. There's a cutscene up there with a bard who goes around telling tales, and it is a way to eventually sequence your way to finding things like Erdrick's equipment. This game has Erdrick's armor, Erdrick's helmet, Erdrick's shield, and Erdrick's sword. The sword is the only thing that we'll be grabbing because we do not want incredibly good armor. We want to take damage, because taking damage lets us deal more damage. And we'll go through that as we end up getting to it. Alright, we see a cutscene here where a guard is dying on the bridge, and we see several guards from Tantagel going and hunting down Princess Gwaelin. They know that she has been taken and kidnapped and taken to the east. And they're going to go there, and we're going to follow. And we're going to see those characters here quite a bit as we move. But before we do that, we'll do some quick menuing. Use the magic water to refresh our MP, and then we're going to use all these seeds really quick, and then proc the Demon Demeanor scroll we picked up in down there. And then we're off. We're at sub 13 minutes. It's pretty fast. I'll take it. It's not like epically fast, but I'll be very happy if we get a solid run in here today. Alright, we are going to walk through the swamp. We're not going to worry about taking damage, because for the entire next, 5 minutes, we're going to live at 1 HP. Padfoot's about to run out. Nope, it didn't. Because we did it early. So we're procking it right now, to make sure that I'm not off on my timing. Another mini medal. And we're going to proc another cutscene here in a second where those guards from Tantagel are moving through, and they're met by the Mirage, an enemy that creates and makes illusions and harasses us, and especially the princess, for a long time as we go. And eventually we'll get a chance to fight it. Right? And thanks to Padfoot, we've entered and exited the cave without an encounter. Take a little bit more poison damage. And we're going to circle around here. There is a secret spot coming up. We get here without losing the Padfoot, so we'll Padfoot now, so we don't get off our timing. We're going to grab some armor. Going to grab a boomerang over here that we may or may not use in the grind. Not determined yet. And then we're going to head south on our way to Rimmelder. In Rimmelder, we'll do our first shopping sequence of the game. We shop twice. That's it. Anything else is a loss of time, unfortunately. Alright, and we're in. We're going to see our guards coming in front of us, and the guard captain falls ill. And part of our next sequence will be finding a way to make him cured, better, and able to recover. But before we do that, we're going to grab some money. And we're going to go buy 21 Wings of the Wyvern. Because we have to zip and zoom around the map really quickly to do all the things that we need. That was pretty good. We'll grab another mini medal, and we're going to zoom right back out to the beginning of the town and continue our trek south. Nope. Alright. We cross and start walking here. We're going to see the first soon coming up. There we go. Padfoot feels like it's back on timing now. We're going to see the first of the new dungeons, the Dwarf Cave, where we're going to meet some dwarves that are going to help us out, and we're going to pick up a bunch of good items as the game goes along. But for now, we're just going to tag it so we can come back to it later. And get out. And then we're going to head to the south to the Jerk Cave, or the Sanctum, best known for having the eventual spot and location of the Rainbow Drop. Getting stuck on rocks a bit here. We've got, I think, 2 Padfoots left in us before we're out of MP. One of them is going to be here pretty soon. There it is. Pick up some strong medicine there. And we're going to cycle into the Sanctum, and then grab a mini medal, hiding in the back, and then we're going to come out and grab our Staff of Divine Wrath, which casts the Swoosh spell, or the Swoosh spell. I can't remember which one it is. The second tier wind spell. And we're going to use it as an item to fight just about everything in the early game. It's very powerful, very strong. And menuing messed up. It went into the Quagmire Cave instead of outside, but that's a mistake. So we'll have to exit. Unfortunate. We're going to move to the north here. We're seeing no swamp damage because we've been riding at 1 HP for a while, but it's time to heal that. And we're going to do one more Padfoot on our way up to Cole. And after we get to Cole, or unless we grab an encounter by accident because my Padfoot timing's a bit off, we're going to actually try to kill something. 17 and a half minutes into the game. We're going to fight one particular group of enemies to get ourselves to level 3. And that will be enough for us to kill the first boss. And from them, it's a little bit of metal slime grinding, a little bit of exterior grinding. Nope, this won't be it. And then boss XP for the entire rest of the run. Alright, into Cole. We'll take an extra encounter here in a minute. Because that would not have given us level 3 where we've had to kill 2 things. I don't want to do that. That wastes time. Alright, we have 2 more mini medals to pick up here in Cole, as well as the Fairy Flute. And then we're going to dip out and head to the Shrine of Rain to the northwest. Alright, Fairy Flute coming up. No brutal metal slime grinds. Matter of fact, I run a different route than most of the other runners because I make my metal slime grind fun. We're going to use upgraded abilities so that we kill metal slimes by lowering their defense and killing them with spells. And I actually killed 2 more metal slimes than most of the other runners, so I can kill some of the bosses with special abilities in different ways that is a little safer and a little faster. Now there's the cost of the time to grind extra metal slimes, so it's a little bit of everything back and forth. I want an encounter, so we're going to leave Padfoot off, and we'll re-up it as soon as we get it. I don't know if this is enough to give me experience or not. Let's hope this gives me level 3. If not, we're fighting something else. Oh, you'll see. Yep, level 3. Fantastic. This will refresh. Melodia, we're going to upgrade our Fizzle spell to do something called Achilles' Wheel. And it's going to lower their defense. And then we're going to kill them with the Staff of Divine Wrath. It'll be fun. Alright, with Padfoot up and our level 3, we're now going to access the Shrine of Rain. This is where my route diverges from several other really solid runners as well, because I get my mini medals in a slightly different way. And so therefore, we're not going to go and grab the prayer ring in here and the mini medal hiding in the back. We're going to go get them later. Alright, and our first decently long cutscene. We have several more cutscenes going on here in a minute. This is where we're first hearing some information from Gwaelin. And then we'll be heading to the castle, to Tantagel Castle here in a second. Swoosh, thank you. Much appreciated, Dragon Lord Carter. Alright, we're back in Tantagel. We're going to come over and we're going to grab this life seed here. Proc more tutorials that I have to go through quickly. And we're going to grab a strength seed on our way into the castle to proc the next cutscene, because I've been having trouble against Armageddon late in the game dealing enough damage to kill him quickly. And so we're stealing 2 extra strength seeds in the run just to make sure that that fight goes a bit smoother. It takes an extra like 30 seconds. But I don't want to lose the run by not being able to kill that boss. So, a little bit of safeties. That's kind of it for safeties in this run. Because you can restart after dying, we go pretty ham against most of the bosses. Alright. Long cutscene here. Talk to the king, and he tells us the story of what happened with Gwaelin, and tasks us to rescue him now that we've visited Erdrick's Hollow and learned of the plight of our ancestor. This is also my favorite cutscene of the game, especially when played at full speed. As the guards are moving over, they're trying to head to the Shrine of Rain to visit the priest there and talk to Rubus, and the Dragon Lord intercepts them, and they're woefully unprepared. But we find out also that Gwaelin is not a pushover, as she is able to block damage from the Dragon Lord here for a little bit. And then she gets captured and kidnapped. And then we have to save her. But still, she's not a pushover. Matter of fact, late in the game, she can help us, and we definitely don't want her to. And every time she does, you're going to see me get really mad. We'll explain why later on that, too. Alright, the king will ask us to seek her out and try to return her. So we're going to wait and accept that. And then we're going to outside the roadside inn. My notes are... Yep, I'm in the right spot. I gotta make sure I keep my notes active. I understand the game enough to run it without notes, but it's so much safer. Especially as I'm doing a lot of talking. Alright, into this secret area here. We're going to snag another mini medal. Our first set of mini medals, we're going to grab 12 total. We're going to grab 3 later as we visit the mini medal house several times in this run. This is also Padfoot, where we're going to grab an extra strength seed and a couple extra herbs, and then head into Garenham. We're coming up on the first boss in the game here in about 3 or 4 minutes. And you can see the joy of using Padfoot in the run. We're getting all kinds of skips of encounters. It really does. The Overlord, the overworld does look amazing. I love the art style in this game. And all the remake games, actually. Here we proc a cutscene where a merchant has found the fabled thieves' key and wants to sell it to the people of Garenham for 1,000,000 gold pieces. And they tell him to stuff it, and so he runs away. But then, as he travels to the south, to the roadside inn, he gets attacked and his thieves' key gets stolen anyway. Which is this cutscene we're procking right here. And then we have to go find the infamous Robin Hood, who has stolen the thieves' key in an effort to get it back. And that's where we're heading here in a minute. But before we do that, we're going to the mini medal house. We're going to pick up rewards from our mini medals. And then we're going to use some seeds and the scroll we're going to get. We have 4 things we're getting, but the important parts are our equipment, which is the Glombolero here, and then seeds. We've been picking up, use all those. And Wildside Scroll. Next we'll be heading to good old Robin Hood. Padfoot's going to be running out soon. If it runs out before the cave, which it did, we're going to refresh it in the cave, because we're about to level up, and every time you level up, you get your MP back. And we're going to get strong use out of that. I won't be using any MP in this fight unless they do way too much damage to me, and then it'll just be a little heal spells. And you're going to see the value of the Wildside Scroll here in a minute. First thing we're going to do, Staff of Divine Wrath on the boss. 76 is decent damage. We take moderate damage. He's going to defend on this run, so we're going to Wildside, which gives us double actions. And then we're going to kill Robin Hood. 2 Staffs of Divine Wrath will take him out. We'll see what the other guys do. Defend and a Frizz. We're in a little bit of danger here, so we're going to heal with Wildside. Just to make sure we don't die. And then we'll take down the Hoodlums. And Wildside is maintained, so we're going to get 2 hits on this, and we drop them. Just like that, they're down. Okay? This should give us level 7. We're looking for high 70s to 80s HP here. 80 HP, that's pretty good. We'll take it. Now, Robin Hood will ask us to save one of his little hoodlums who is down in the dungeon and lost. So after defeating him, he is now our friend, and we will go to this task for him. Before we do that, though, we're going to grab a mini medal. And then we are going to rush our way downstairs. We should take 1 encounter on the next floor on the way to the next boss, which is the Sorcerer. We're going to pick up a few items on the way, and then we'll take 1 encounter on the way back up. And this is the fabled mountain cave from the original Dragon Quest 1. And it does it justice, along with a lot of other junk in the way on the ground that you end up running into. Like this chair right here that I'm trying to avoid. There's our encounter. You get blocked. We'll have to heal that. Alright. Alright, we're going to go down here. We're going to grab the stamina seed. Read Padfoot because it's about to go away. And then use that stamina seed, hoping to get extra stamina and get extra HP as we kill this next boss, the Sorcerer. And because we're going to kill him and level up right before we get moving, read Padfoot and go. This boss is super simple. We're going to use Wildside, and depending on what he does, his first action, we're going to kill him really quickly. If he defends, which he does not, then we are going to use Demon Demeter, which is going to do decent damage. If he uses Kabuff, we'll switch to the Staff, which is now magic damage. It's a little less damage, but doesn't involve his defense. And 3 rounds should be enough. And there goes There's the sorcerer. Next boss down. So we'll get us to level 9. And we want 90s for the HP. Give me 90s, please. 95. We'll take it. Good. HP is super important for this run. It kind of determines everything because of the way we're going to have to use our upgraded abilities here in a little bit. And especially at this stage. Because I'm about to fight the next boss at way too low of a level. And use an ability to let, essentially, the monsters kill themselves. Alright, we're going to grab our death necklace. And then the armor of Hades from Dragon Quest 1 and 3, specifically. Different pieces of armor that are located down here. And we'll be selling them later. On the way up, we're going to pick up one extra thing of strong medicine. We're picking up 5 things of strong medicine in this run to maybe use it in one battle. Alright, and this should clear us up to the top. We're going to take one encounter on the top floor, and then when we talk to Robin Hood again, he's going to give us our Thieves' Key. And now that we have the opportunity to open doors, we're going to do all kinds of door opening and grabbing of stuff. Padfoot should run out here pretty soon. Right there. There we go. And we're getting Thieves' Key about 31 minutes, which is pretty good. I'm going to take it. I'm going to be happy about it. Ooh, thanks for the good luck, TwitchBot. Appreciate it. Alright, from here we're going immediately to Garenham. When we got to Garenham last time, we skipped through almost everything. Now we're going to go ahead and speed through and grab the mini medal in the city. And then we're going to use our Thieves' Key to open that door right there. Which will then lead us into Garen's grave, where we're going to pick up another mini medal and the Whistle Scroll, which we're going to use to summon enemies into combat for a metal slime grind and a few small other instances in the run. We're not pad-footing here because we're going to end up wanting to conserve our MP, and we're going to be able to get through this entire dungeon without using it because it's a very short jaunt in to grab a few items. And we're in. Alright, we're going to sneak up here, grab our mini medal. Oh, don't want to go in there. Wrong one. I have extra steps to waste, I'm fine. Then we're going to grab a little bit of money, and then the Whistle Scroll. And then we're going to outside Rimmulder. Now we're going to go to the back part of Rimmulder where we're going to talk to the vendor who is going to help us make a magic key. But he's got some things for us to do first. But before we do that, we have things to do. Because we need to padfoot here. And use that Whistle Scroll right away to get it active. And then we're going to set it up as one of our presets. Grab a couple items out of those pots to the right and get into the building. Alright. He's going to tell us that there's a dwarf he needs help from to be able to create the magic key, so we're going to go get him in the dwarf cave. This is our first new dungeon that we're going to be running. And with use of Padfoot right outside, we should be able to get all the way through this dungeon without an encounter. We're going to grab strong medicine. Right here. And then up top, we're going to grab a ruby wristband, which is an accessory. And we're going to equip that once we get down into the cave. It gives us better defense Then after that, oops, I'm going in the wrong direction. I'm going to take an encounter. That was silly. I didn't take an encounter. Let's go. And now we're going to go talk to the dwarf after we pick up an iron lance and an oomph powder from here. He's going to tell us he's sick, he needs help. He's going to give us information. Those fairies that we saw earlier, the bottom of the mountain cave, they're eventually going to help us create something to help both the guard captain and that dwarf. But for now, we grab a hex tract, which is an item we're going to use much later in the game. We're going to grab our first key ingredient down here, this wellspring crystal, which is going to lead to sigils. That will be a very large part of us dealing massive damage throughout the game. But now it's time to go collect on those mini medals we've been grabbing. So we're going to get a scroll. Now that we can open the doors and open chests, we're going to grab the reheal scroll over here, and we're going to grab our dragon shield from the mini medal house. Alright, I'm going to want to use these seeds. Oops. Thank you, Kinghorn, for the good luck. I used my scroll before using the seeds, so I need to go back and use the seeds. We're going to get the dragon shield. We're going to equip that and the stealth suit. And talk. And then from here, we're going to go to the Nameless Ruins outside of it, and we're going to take a walk to the east. Nope, not zooming. We're pad footing. There we go. And over here, we're going to find the village of the fairies that we rescued. And they're going to give us information and things to go find. They're going to have us go seek out 2 ingredients that they're going to use to create a sun-up syrup that will heal both the guard captain and the dwarf. So we can get the guard captain moving and we can create our magic key. So a few small cutscenes to use here. They're going to make us stay at the inn. We're going to see a Gwaelin cutscene in a minute. And it's about time for us to enter our next boss fight. Here we get a exceptionally creepy job of the Mirage messing with Gwaelin, trying to get information that she has from the Fairy Rubus on how to defeat the Dragon Lord. Creating images of her mother and father to try and entice her to give up this information as she tries to hold strong. And then a whole creepy amount of mothers and fathers that just surround her until the walls close in. Poor Gwaelin. We're going to help her out in a minute. Alright, from here, we're going to the Field of Flowers. We're going to go pick up those ingredients. In here is also one more ingredient for sigils, which we're going to talk about here in a little bit. But the Dragon Lord is now going to start messing with us, and he's going to send enemies to go attack the fairies, a knight, and demon knights from the original Dragon Warrior game, or in this case, the Knight Errant and the Dark Skeletons. In this fight, we should be most of the routes grind before this, because it's hard. I'm going to fight it early with an ability called Cop Out, which I'm going to use to deal damage back to them, as well as the scroll that we just picked up, Reheal. And this is the first point where we might take a death, for sure. This fight is scary. We will start by using our new spell, Reheal, which is a regeneration spell. And they're going to hit us a few times, and then we're going to regenerate some of that damage. Kasap and Moosh are okay here. Uh-oh, we almost died. But we're going to use this ability, Cop Out, which blocks enemy attacks and reflects it back upon them. We don't want to see too many more Wooshes here. We want to see them attack us. Nope. Oh, we're almost dead. Come on, hold steady. There's the attack. Bouncing damage back on the Dark Skeleton. This attack can be... They can get through here, though. Well, pretty good damage so far. And we're rehealing and recovering. Okay, missed. That one got through and hit us. Fizzle doesn't matter. Not right now. We're okay. Reheal is worn off, though, which is bad. Alright, we need them to knock a few people out here pretty soon. We don't want to see any more whooshes. Good. They've done tons of damage to everybody, but nobody's gone down yet. Oh my gosh, I got through. We're probably toast. Oh. Ooh, we might not be toast. Okay. They're out of MP. We might be alive. Okay. Okay. We need him to do a little damage to himself, and then we can take him out. Okay. One more time. One more time. Okay, we got him. We got him. We got to the fight. Unbelievable! Woo! That's one where we usually die at least once. We'll take it. Oh. Alright, that one was stressful. With the Knight Errant and Demon Knights defeated, we now will get here and awkwardly stand with this fairy for a few minutes until they create the Sun Up Syrup, and then we're immediately going to go heal our friends. We're going to start with our dwarf so we can get moving on creating our magic key. Thankfully, now in the dwarf cave, because you've made it to the bottom, whenever you zoom here, you immediately go down to the basement, which is great. I'm going to use our Sun Up Syrup. Come over here. He is now healed, and he will go visit our magic key vendor friend. Nope, pad-footed by accident. From here, we heal the dwarf, and we're going to outside Rimmulder. Actually, we're supposed to go inside Rimmulder. Oops. That's right, we'll just walk into town. This will proc a cutscene with the captain of the guard, and what we find out is his daughter, who has been traveling with him the whole time. We'll give him the Sun Up Syrup. He'll feel better. She'll feel sad that she couldn't do the act to save him and had to rely on our help, but she will eventually give us the Pendant of the Princess. Which, if you rescue Gwaelin and take her back to town, then she will communicate with you through this pendant. But we're just going to give it back to her. And now we're going to go to outside Rimmulder, because with both the dwarf and the captain healed, we're going to go around to the backside and we're going to get our magic key. And with the magic key, we're then going to be able to pick up all kinds of different things, because we now have lots of doors that are available to us. The first one we're going to go is right back to Tantagel Castle again. In Tantagel, we're going to go to what I like to call the Curse House, which is the house that you use to remove curses in the original Dragon Warrior game for the NES and Famicom. We're going to dip into here with this door open, and we can now go upstairs. We can go over here and we get some money. And now we're out of here, and then we're going to exit quickly this way. And then we're going to go into the castle and down to the basement on the right-hand side and get the Stones of Sunlight, the first of our key items needed to create the Rainbow Drop, which will get us to the Dragon Lord's castle. We're going back here for the stones now, because after we rescue Gwaelin, if we get to this part of the castle, she'll be rescued and proc like 4 minutes of cutscenes, which we don't want to mess with. So we're just going to rescue her and carry her around in our arms for the entire game. Hello, kitty. Grabbing a luck seed. And then we're going to grab a strength seed down in the basement, and then grab our stones, and then get out of here. We'll be heading right back to the dwarf cave next to pick up some items. And after the dwarf cave, we're going to create our first sigils by going back to the fairy village with the ingredients that we've been collecting. And then from there onto the mini metal house to buy a weapon. The second and last time we will shop. We'll be getting our Dragon's Bane claws. Alright. In the fairy village, now that they've been rescued, we can create sigils out of the ingredients we'll be finding. We're going to create the soul sigil and water sigil. The soul sigil is the important one. What it does, it upgrades our abilities to be able to do extra powerful things when we're in certain conditions. One, when we're in 50% health or less, we can use the soul sigil to upgrade abilities. Two, when we have certain spells active, we can use the soul sigils to use other abilities. When we have the reheal spell active, we can do defensive abilities, and the hocus focus spell active, offensive abilities. Since we already have reheal, we have that ready to go. Hocus focus is much later, and we're actually not going to get it. We're just going to do all of our abilities by being 50% health, which means for most of the game, we want bosses to hit us once, and then we kill them. Alright, going to the mini metal house. Gotta focus here. There's a lot of menuing, because we're going to sell almost all the things we have, and we have just barely enough gold to get through. Alright, first here, sort the inventory. Grab a Phantom Mask and a Sage's Elixir. I'm going to sell from the hero Stealth Suit and items, Prayer Ring. Did we sell that Stealth Suit? We did. Good. And then Sage's Elixir, and from the equipment, Iron Lance, Hapless Helm. Yep, selling that, selling that. Selling that, selling the Choker, not those. Nope, Leather Shield, Copper Hat, Suit. And good. And then we can afford to buy the Dragon's Bane Claws and equip it. Then we're going to equip the Glombolero and Asbestos Earrings here, and then the Edge Boomerang, we want to have it in our inventory. And then from here, we're going to the Field of Flowers. Supposed to go to outside of it. I went in. I'm just going to step out in a minute. We also want to take out key items, which we're going to take out our Fairy Flute, and we're going to take out both of these Oomph Powders, and we're going to use these seeds that we have here. And now it's time for us to grind metal slimes with our Whistle Scroll. We don't see them yet. With the Soul Sigil, we're going to use our abilities to lower the defense of metal slimes. Here we go. We're going to cast Reheal, which is going to proc our Soul Sigil ability and make it active. And then the defense ability Fizzle, which is normally a silence spell, when upgraded, lowers the defense of all enemies in the area. And by holding a certain button, we're going to activate it. And we're going to lower the defense of these metal slimes. We hit 2 of them, and now they're vulnerable to magic damage, and we're going to use our Staff of Divine Wrath, and any of them that stay, like these 2, are dead. And boom, just like that, 2 metal slimes down. We're grinding 6 here at this phase, and then moving on. We have the boomerang because there's one specific fight. If we see it, we're going to use the boomerang instead. Ooh, we might be dead. Nope. Yep, we're dead. Ah, okay. That's fine. That's a time loss. That's unfortunate. But we'll just go right from where we were. And just whistle that fight again. This is the fight, actually. Good, I'm glad we saw it. Okay, we're going to cast... We're not going to cast Reheal. We're going to use the Wild Side ability here. Because the metal slimes are in different groups. Oh, this is just annoying. They all ran. But with Wild Side, we can then attack. We hit 1. 2. He ran away. Unfortunate. We're going to kill this Chimera anyways. Because we need 200 extra experience in the run at some point. We just picked up 80. Alright, we're still at 2 metal slimes. 6 is the goal. That's fine. Come on. We're getting a lot of run fails. This is unfortunate. We'll have to heal that. Oh my goodness, 3 run fails. Let me out of here. Good. Metal. We heal. And Fizzle, which turns into... Nope, he ran. There's my medals. We heal. We picked up 2. We need 6. We cannot take more than 6. So we're in a perfect spot right now. But if we get too many levels, then we become too strong. And we won't be able to kill bosses because they won't deal enough damage to us. Alright, we procced all 4 here, friends. If they all stay, we're done. That's 1. That's 2. That's 3. We need 1 more metal slime. They're all down. 1 more and the grind's done. We're going to assign zoom here because we just got it. Before I forget to do so. Alright, here's the weird part. We can't take extra metal slime. So we're going to do our event. We're going to proc reheal. We're going to do Achilles wheel again. And we're only going to kill 1. Oh, we'll only kill 1 because there's only 1 left. He's primed and ready, though. Stick around. That's my friend. Alright, grind is done. 50 minutes. Not bad. Alright, here we're going to go ahead and now equip. Let's see here. For this fight, we need the strength ring over the ruby wristband. And we need the... Make sure the dragon's bane claws are equipped. And we're going to zooming to the Quagmire Cave. Making sure I don't have anything else. Nope, I should be good. I've died, so I need to immediately activate Padfoot, and then we're running. Let's go. It sure is, Ellie. Once I figured out how to do it, I was very excited. And even though the world record run kills them with just the boomerang, because it is a little bit faster, and they only kill 4, I can't change my route, because I enjoy killing metal slimes too much with spells. Alright, down here, we are going to pick up 1 more ingredient for another sigil. And we're going to look for that extra 120 experience that we need over the course of the next, like, 10 minutes. And then we're going to kill the green dragon and rescue the princess. Well, there's my fight. And this will be enough, I think. Gotta be careful here. Oops, I accidentally cast a spell and we might be in trouble. And we're asleep. Don't die. Let's not take this fight. Okay, good. That was a mistake. Put Padfoot up. If we don't end up getting it before we get to the end of this cavern, we'll just whistle a fight in. That was a mismenu. Alright, we have the Moonbeam Dew, which is the 3rd of our sigils. We're going to collect the last 3 for our 5 sigils and then proc them all at once later in the game. We might take another encounter here. Oh, thank you for all the good lucks, Medio. And for everybody else that has stopped in. Alright, we're not taking a fight. We're going to whistle one in, because I want the experience. This will do it. Although I don't want them to attack first. There we go. That should be enough. Yep. Okay, we're good. We're going to cast Holy Protection here. And hopefully I have enough MP. I'm pretty sure I do. I think we're going to wait to Padfoot until after the Green Dragon fight is done. Just to make sure. Because running out of MP here is bad. This is a lower encounter area, so Holy Protection or Repel will block everything. And now it's time for us to fight the Green Dragon. You're going to see the true power of the Soul Sigil as we use it to proc the Wild Side ability. We have one final cutscene with Gwaelin where the Mirage tries to trick her, or trick us into believing that she is here. But it turns out that's the Mirage after all, and this is Gwaelin, who then doesn't believe that we're real. Because she's been messed up in the head with torture for a while. And then we dispel the illusion and fight the green dragon. We're going to use an powder. We're going to hope right here the green dragon punches us in the face, because we're going to use wild side. He missed. Alright, we're going to die. We can't have him not hit us, which is actually bad. We're going to take off all of our equipment and that blocks fire. And just keep punching him until he kills us. And then we're going to try this again. Sometimes you get trolled in this game. And we mostly get trolled by bosses not actually hitting us when we want them to. There we go. We're dead. We'll restart. We'll try again. When we use Wild Side and we proc our Soul Sigil, we're going to turn it into the next ability, which is Divide. Which will then give us Wild Side in 2 actions. And Divide, which gives us 3 actions. So 6 actions, essentially, in a row. We've been hit. We're in 50% health, and now we can proc this ability for Divide, giving us 3 mirror images, and then we're going to use our double Dragon Slash along with our Soul Sigil, and we're going to beat the crap out of the green dragon in 1 attack, and he's dead. And we're going to kill a lot of the bosses in the game by proccing abilities just like this. Alright, we have a cutscene where Gwaelin reveals us the information that she's been protecting. But the Mirage is going to overhear it. Yeah, it is. When I first saw, I did not figure this out on my own. I watched Silver kill this boss, and once he did it, then I got a chance. Yeah, this is normal difficulty. Once I got a chance to play around with it, I had a lot of fun with it. This run is fun for fights like that. Alright, we have died once, so we'll need to proc Padfoot when we get out of here. And we're going to head to outside the Mini-Metal House and head to the southeast towards Cantlin. Unfortunately, Gwaelin told us all the information and the Mirage overheard it, so the Dragon Lord knows it now too. Alright, we're zooming out. Padfoot's up, and we're sprinting. Our rappel's about to run out, but Padfoot will stop us from taking any encounters here. This is the bridge leading into Cantlin. Blocking this area is a new dungeon, the second of the new dungeons in the game. You certainly didn't skip Burn Day. This is called the Weirdwood. It is a illusion forest where you cannot figure out where you're going. You have no access to your mini-map. But what we're going to do is we're going to exit to the left-hand side over here. We're going to re-enter to the right, which then procs 2 motions in and out of the area, telling the game that, yes, I'm sufficiently confused, and now we can proc our cutscene by Gwaelin coming over here to this open area and then using her magic from the Fairy Rubus to dispel the illusion and bring our mini-map back. And now we see we were close to the exit here all along. And we're going to head into the next area, the Weirdwood, where we're going to end up running into an encounter. Really? Okay. Not used to seeing that encounter. And then we're going to find what we think is their guard captain friend, but it's not really them. It's the Mirages. And now we finally get to fight this silly man and get rid of him. But there's not one of them. There's 3 of them. And if you kill them in combat, they keep summoning more. So we have to be careful to do enough AoE to kill all of them at once. We're going to do that by wild siding. Hopefully not taking too much damage. And then using our Staff of Divine Wrath. Thankfully, they are weak to wind damage. So our swoosh spell will be enough. And then 2 rounds of that wild-sided will kill all of the Mirages. And with this, we should be hitting level 18. and picking up the Gust Slash spell and getting all of our magic back, which is nice. With the Gust Slash ability. Yep, it is smoke from DQ2. A lot of monsters that make the cross correlation here. We find out that the Mirage has also been capturing the Fairy Queen, and now we bring her back home. She will tell us much information that I forget because I've skipped through this part of the game. But right now she's resting, and we need to talk to all the people in the town, which really means that 1, 2, 3, and 4 key fairies, and then we're going to go back and she'll talk to us. From here, we're going to end up going back to the Wyrmwood and trying to get our way into Cantlin. Before we do that, we're going to grab the Fairy Foil, which is a strong sword that we're not going to use as a weapon. We're going to use as an item in battle to raise our defense in some of the hardest fights in the game. Or the hardest fight in the game. Back to the Wyrmwood. In the Wyrmwood is the Hocus Focus Scroll, which allows you to proc your offensive abilities with the Soul Sigil without being at 50% health. But we're not going to get it because we have other ways of getting to 50% health and using that in the run. It saves a little time not getting it. It saves a lot of time because proccing it takes an action in combat, which can be difficult to overcome. Finishing combats in fewer actions prevents bosses from using a lot of their abilities. And so I've routed my way through without getting this scroll. That doesn't mean we're going to get through first try on all the bosses. We'll probably die a lot at a couple of them. But if you can get through first try, you can go really fast. Alright, we have the Undying Flame. We have one more ingredient for a sigil to grab. We're taking an encounter here very soon. We did take those lump mages the last time we were in here. Yep, here it is. And you could grind that extra 200 experience in here, but enemies like that are super hard to kill. And so I like to get it earlier. And then from here, we're going to leave, and we're going to head and tag the Wayfarers in. Nope. Padfoot, please. And then we're going to go to Cantlin. Cantlin is defended by the Golem, created by the denizens of Cantlin to protect them, but corrupted by the Dragon Lord, and now nobody can get in or get out. But we're going to take care of that. There's a complicated sequence of actions, as well as using the Fairy Flute to put it asleep, to kill the Golem at level 17, but I get level 18, so we get Gust Slash, and we're going to use an Oomph Powder, and we're going to crush him super easy, if he stays asleep. And if not, we'll die and try again. I'm going to Padfoot here, and we're going to Padfoot again right before the fight. We're not going to heal up that damage because we want to be a little bit weaker. We want to get hit. Not in this fight, but in the next one. And here we go. Golem fight. We're going to use our Fairy Flute. He punches us in the face. We're now at 50% health. That's where we want to be, and we need him to stay asleep. Oomph Powder. Good. Wild side. Good. Oh no. Oh no. He's about the defending champion. We're gonna die. Can't use our ability. We crit him, that's nice. But he woke up at the wrong time. That's the one round that if he wakes up, you're kind of screwed. If he wakes up a round earlier, you're fine. Because he'll defend a champion while you set up Divide, but if he does that when you lose. And you just try again. Fairy Flute. He missed us. We're going to defend here. Until he wakes up. Now we're gonna flute again. Now he's gonna defending champion. Now he goes to sleep. Now we own powder. Now he wakes up immediately. Now we just let him kill us. Because, once again, he's waking up at the worst times. We dodged the all-out assault, my gosh, come on. We probably could try to sequence our way through, but I like to do the boss combos, and it's not... Can you go through and not die and sequence the fight and try to win it? Yeah, but it's sometimes faster to just die and try again. I hate dying at the golem, though, because we spend resources and time to come here and kill him in one hit. Alright, he's asleep. Powder. Stay asleep. Stay asleep. We got him. Got Slash turned into a Sky Splitter. And he's toast. Alright. Now we have access to Caitlin. We will learn that the priest in Caitlin has been kidnapped by the Dragon Lord and especially his minion Spiketail and taken away so they can learn the location of the final key. Also, in order to get there, they've destroyed a bridge. And his friend is sad. So we need to go ahead and find somebody who will create a bridge. And who better to create a bridge to get us there than the dwarves. Our dwarf friend is now healthy. He'll come back with us. They'll make a bridge. They'll even do it for free. And now we return to Caitlin. This also is going to proc a cutscene as we celebrate where the Dragon Lord starts noticing what's going on. And he's going to start sending his minions to start wreaking havoc and trying to slow us down. We are coming up to a very hard sequence of boss fights. We are entering the late game at this stage. We're going to exit out of the town. Park a cutscene here, and then we're going to zoom to outside of Hawksness or Damdara, whatever you want to call it. And we're going to take a long walk. We are going to walk to the desert area located north of Caitlin to a new dungeon. We need to pad foot because we died. And then go. This is called the Weeping Isle. Normally this area in the original Dragon Warrior game was just a wide maze where you could find metal slimes, but pretty much you just walk around until you run out of resources and die. But we have put a dungeon at the end of it with some fun Dragon Quest II music and a bunch of items and Spiketail, who is the minion of the Dragon Lord that is causing all the havoc in Caitlin. This is the second longest walk in the game. We're going to take 3 encounters as we go through this maze with Padfoot. Otherwise, we'd take probably like 15 encounters. And the dungeon itself is quite long as well. And then as soon as we get to the end, it's boss fight, and then boss fight, and then boss fight. And the next boss fight's easy against dragonflies. The ones against dragon zombies, Spiketail, and then eventually Gorgoyle are incredibly hard. And there's a chance we might be sitting here for upwards of 10 minutes on some of the bosses, taking deaths and trying again. And getting a full run through with no deaths in this game is near impossible. At least on the speedy strats that we have going right now. Right, probably taking one more as we round the center of this area here. And then we'll be into the dungeon. There's our one encounter. We almost got there. We almost broke it. Yes, that's why the estimate of 2 hours and 15 minutes. We could be done in 30 from this stage. We probably won't be. We definitely won't be. Let's say that. If I kill all these bosses first try, we could be done in like an hour and 45 minutes. Padfoot. Alright, we catch a cutscene here as Spiketail and his dragonfly minions are interrogating the poor priest, trying to get him to reveal the location of the final key. He, like a champion, is giving up nothing. For now. Lots of steps, lots of places, lots of rooms and areas in and out in this dungeon. Nice little maze. We have our next cutscene, where unfortunately we see that Spiketail has found the priest's son and is using the threat of death to him to get the information. And eventually, unfortunately, he's going to cave. Alright, we're going to get an encounter here pretty soon. We're going to use a Padfoot here and then jump in. I agree with you, Janelle. Alright, up here we have our last ingredient for our soul sigil, as well as a chest with the crack scroll, which we're going to use in the next fight and possibly against Gorgoyle, the hardest boss in the game. We have a little bit of menuing to do here. Alright, first of all, use that scroll so I can read my notes. Then we need to equip anti-fire and dodging ability items and defense for the next fight. Okay, so we want to equip Ruby wristband. Still want the asbestos earrings. We want tectonic plate and phantom mask and go. And yeah, I'll agree with you. They do feel like new games. Enough that they're worth the purchase. They're expensive, but they're worth the purchase in my mind. I've had a ton of fun with them, and I haven't even opened Dragon Quest 2 yet. Just because the moment I do, I'll stick and play it for like a month and do nothing else. I was too busy getting this speedrun learned and set and ready. Gotta heal there. Alright, I believe that will be our last random encounter of the dungeon. We still have a few more maze-like steps to go through. And then we're coming up to the fight, where unfortunately our friend the priest will not survive. And he will give up the location of the final key, and Spiketail will send the dragonflies to stop us while he goes and gets it. This fight is simple. We've equipped enough gear so that their fire damage from their fire breath can barely hurt us. We have things to dodge attacks. As long as all 6 of them don't hit us at once, we're going to end this fight in 1 round. Now, they're hitting us a lot. Okay, we dodged 1. We're good. We dodged 2. Then we're going to use our new crack spell, which doesn't do massive damage to them. But because we used Wild Side, we're going to proc it twice, and that's going to kill them all, and that's the end of that. That fight can be really hard if you don't use Wild Side in that spell. Alright, at this stage, that is boss fight number 1 of the Speedy Rush. 2 more in very quick succession coming up here. We're going to go to Cantlin, we're going to proc this funeral scene where they read a poem for the priest. It's actually a beautiful poem. We're speed running, so we skip through it in about 1.5 seconds. It's worth reading when you get to this stage of the game, though. And then we're off to fight the dragon zombies, which is the absolute pure RNG crap fight of this game. It's a 3-round fight, and we're going to die a lot because we need all the things to happen at once correctly, and it's just hard. The Dragon Lord is going to send dragon zombies and other minions once again to challenge the fairies. And we're going to go rescue them after they kill us a lot. Alright, the one thing we are going to do is we do want to take a hit in the first round of this fight. So we're going to put our Hermes hat on, and then we're going. It's pretty simple. They use ice damage. We have nothing to block ice damage, so we want them to get us into 50% health by attacking us, hitting us with ice damage and minimal abilities. Yeah, this was not in Dragon Quest 1 normally. And of course they're going to kill one of our fairies here, which sucks. She was nice, we liked her. We're going to try to get some retribution, maybe. We are going to Wild Side. Freezing Blizzard is okay. Sweet Breath is not okay. We have to be in 50% health here, or we can't proc our abilities. And they're probably going to kill us. We're going to try to get Divide up. We're probably not going to be able to survive this. Freezing Blizzard will kill us. Alright, that's one death. We're going to keep going. We need to get to 50% health on the first round so that we can proc Divide. Otherwise, we can't proc it without casting Reheal. We can't survive an extra round. Hey, hit me. Hit me. Hit me! Good enough. Let's go. Now we need to not take enough damage to die here. Come on. That's good. Missed. Chilly Breath is good. We're through. We're through. Only 2 tries. Demon Demeanor upgrades into Quadra Slash, which ignores offensive and defensive buffs and just straight up deals damage, and the dragon zombies are down. Let's go. $212. 212 is very important because I need to know what my max health is so I can know what half of my health is. We need to get to 106 health for the next fight. We're going to kill Spiketail and get our final key. We have to make our equipment changes. We need to equip the Phantom Mask again, Glombolero, and the Strength Ring over the Ruby Wristband. And then we're going to outside Cantlin. And this is the stage where normally you would get anti-ice gear because Spiketail has anti-ice abilities and anti-fire, and you get the Focus Pocus scroll. But I'm going to do this by getting into 50% health, using my Whistle Scroll to get a combat, so that somebody punches me in the face, and then we're going to try to win the fight at 50% health. Good, that should be close enough. Let's get out. We have 106 where we need to get to. Good, and we're going to Cole. And now this fight in practice today killed me for 15 minutes. It's very hard because you have to survive at 50% health, and you have to get Spiketail down into half health so he doesn't use anti-ice abilities, and so you can only use the fire ability protection that you have. We're going to start with the Staff of Divine Wrath. Multi-heal is great if he goes before us. We hit him. Next up, we're going to use Wild Side, and we're going to rely on that Quadra Slash that we just had there. Colorado is great. We're divided. He attacks us. We can eat that one attack. That's it. We get Quadra Slash to go early before he summons his minions, which is probably really bad. We're going to try it one more time. As he buffs. And that will kill his minions. We may have used too much magic there. We have to unequip the Glombolero and equip the Tectonic Plate. And use Staff of Divine Wrath here. Now we're completely resistant to fire. He's going to shout. We're frozen with fear. Now we have to equip the Glombolero back and pray that we have enough magic left. Or that he doesn't attack us. If he attacks us the second time, then we're dead. He has 6 rounds where he has an option to attack. He can kabuff, he can accelerate, he can multi-heal, he can attack, and he can shout. And we have to survive those 6 rounds with only receiving 1 attack and getting hit. So we try again. Multi-heal isn't good because he heals up the damage we've dealt. But he has used Acceleratle, so at this stage, I should not go before him. This is good. This is going to give us a little extra time. Okay, that was really good damage to Spiketail. Okay, that one was not good damage. And then from here, tectonic plate gets equipped. And use staff. He kabuffs. He's in half health, so we should be infernoing. Okay. One more time. Shout. Okay, we get extra damage. Guabalero gets equipped, and Wild Side. We get attacked once. Acceleratle. We might get through this. Okay, let's go. No shout. Be enough. Come on, be enough. It's enough. We're through them. Let's go. Whew. That was a pretty good rush. Now we save this guard who has saved his family, and we get the final key. Let's roll. From now, we're heading to Garenham. And we're diving the grave for the harp. Going well. Going well. Here we have a cutscene to proc, where Robin Hood and our wayward adventurers are protecting the town against the Dragon Lord. Of course, Robin Hood claims all victory, and then everybody else shows up and is like, yeah, we also helped, which is nice. Here they come. And we're going. We pad foot, because we died. And we're rolling. Let's head downstairs. We're diving the grave. We're getting two key things. One, we're getting the Dark Robe, which is armor that protects us and allows us a higher dodge rate, which we desperately need for the next boss fight coming up against Gorgoyle. And we want to get the seeds on the way that we can find, and the Silver Harp. With the Silver Harp and all 5 sigils and the Fairy Flute, we can go to the Shrine of Rain and resummon Rubus to clear the darkness from the area and give us a chance to fight the Dragon Lord. And also, by clearing that, allow us access to the Staff of Rain, which we need to get the Rainbow Drop. With all that being said, now we dive this dungeon. I love the randomized jokes. DW randomizer is where I got my start, so I'm all there with you. Padfoot runs out incredibly fast on this floor. Go, 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 go. As soon as we find the Dark Robe here, we're going to equip it. And then we run. Padfoot will run out again before we exit this floor. Right about here-ish. We take our second fight. These guys are scary. They have whack, which we can instantly kill you. We're going to pick up 2 more seeds. And head down. A couple more floors and we're done. We have at least one more random encounter we're going to take on the last floor. We'll be on the last floor here in just a moment. And then we'll be at the harp floor. Alright. Down the steps and around. We need to Padfoot one more time. We're taking an encounter around nowish. First strike is bad. We're away. Last Padfoot and harp time. And from here, we now have all the things we need to create our soul sigils, so we're going to do that. Or our final 3 sigils. Sorry, we already have the soul sigil. So we're going to Fairy Village next to do all that, and then we'll go back to Tantagel to pick up some Hextract, which we're going to turn into more Oomph Powder. Alright, Sigil time. Alright, I've already explained that with Sigils and Harp and Flute, the fairies will help us out, and we'll be able to head to the Shrine of Rain and get the staff. We have a bunch of menuing to get done here pretty soon. It's the Sun Sigil, this one will be the Moon Sigil, then the Star Sigil, and then we move forward. And thankfully, with all these things in hand, the cutscene will proc after we create the Star Sigil, and we'll step right down and right into the next cutscene, and then move forward. And of course, these tutorials tell you what they do. I can't remember what they do. It's not the Soul Sigil. That's the only one that I care about. Although we do get some benefit. One of them makes you potential crits with magic and abilities. One of them gives you item crits. So they're helpful. I just can't remember what they do, because I never look at the text anymore. Alright, next, Tantagel. We can't take the princess back, so we can only walk around in the town. But in the town, we're going to be able to go into the Curse House again. And this Curse House has another chest up top with 3 Hextract. It also has a magic water right here for MP recovery, which we're going to use in the Shrine of Rain. And now we're the Shrine of Rain. We have some menuing to do here. So we'll go in, we'll proc the cutscene, and then lots of menuing from me. I have to bag some items to get them out of my inventory. I need to take out the strong medicine that we've been collecting all game long. Alright, go ahead, bag this, and bag the flute, and item, strong medicine, take out all of them, and move. And then we need to equip the ruby wristband over the strength ring, and take out the fairy foil, but don't equip it. Good. In the Shrine of Rain, it's essentially Rubus Tower from DQ3, and we'll be running it. It's a fast dungeon because it's a mostly destroyed Rubus Tower. We're going to be up and down stairs a lot, which is going to break most of our encounters. We're going to pick up a life seed here in a minute. There's another strength seed here that I can pick up, but I don't need. Quick steps, quick encounter breaks here. We will take one encounter and have to repad foot once, right around the end of this hallway and the top floor. And then we'll be on to what is the hardest boss in the game, which is Gorgoyle. It's not a fair boss. It's not even a fun boss. It's essentially a guy who does massive physical damage and crits you. They expect you to get Erdrick's armor and the Ogre shield from the Axe Knight before you go here, but we skip that. And so our defense is woefully unprepared for this fight. We're going to spend most of our time buffing, healing, and using Cop Out to deflect damage. Alright, menuing quick. We have seeds, use them all. And then we want to use a medical herb to heal fully, and the magic water to heal MP. And then we go. Wish me luck. This one sucks. We will start by re-healing. We have a 6-turn cycle. We immediately get crit. Good start. First, third, and fifth turns, he's going to crit. And it has like a 20% chance of hitting with the gear we have. Then he's going to attack and fizzle on turns 2 and 4. Where we're going to fairy foil on his crit turns while we use re-heal to heal. And then on turn 4 here, he's going to use his weak spot attack, which if it gets through, hurts him and potentially hurts us. Re-heal is worn off, we're going to re-proc it. We're going to cop out every odd turn and try to deflect as much damage as possible. I'm fizzled now, so we're going to use Fairy Foil to up our defense. And because I'm fizzled, he's going to use 2 abilities, so we're definitely copping out. So he uses 2 abilities and bounces the damage back upon himself. He can cast spells again, so let's up our re-heal. And we're gonna run this fight like this till he's nearly dead, and then we're gonna try to finish him off. Going okay so far. Defense is back to normal, so we definitely want a fairy foil here. We did not get crit, that helps. Keep copping out. Keep bouncing damage back. Fizzle is fine. Especially if I have reheal up, because that means that when we get to this next round, he will attack twice. Because otherwise he'll fizzle again if we're not fizzled. We got one through. We bounce one back. That's fine. Reheal, we're off, and we're fizzled, so we're still fairy foiling. This is round 4. This is the double weak attack. Come on. I don't want him to dodge it. We want him to hit with it. We can now reheal again. Okay. We're fizzled. This is good. I like being fizzled here. Because that means 2 attacks coming in here. Good. Reheal is worn off, but we're fizzled, so we buff. He's down to 50% health. We foil and comp out. We can attack 1. We can attack 2. This is good. Let's get reheal up. Keep copping out. We gotta keep an eye on what we see. There's the first swoosh. That's fine. Fizzle is good. Fairy foil up. Don't get crit there. Yes, that's good. Cop out. 2 attacks coming. Good. Good. I can cast spells. Reheals off. Let's reproc it. He's in critical health here. We're doing well. Double weak attack. This is good. Keep fairy foiling. Cop out again. Bounce it. Fizzle is fine. Fairy foil. 2 attacks coming. Swoosh. No. Okay. We're gonna strong medicine here and heal. He's running out of MP. This is good. We're copping out here for the weak attack. Okay. Fairy foil. No, we're strong medicine apparently. Is that this menu? That's fine. Healing is good there. We're not fizzled. Let's go ahead and try to kill him. Got him. Alright, we're through. Let's go. Let's go. That fight is super hard. The one switch that I've made is I've always tried when he hits orange health to try to wild side and use multiple spells to kill him. And over the past couple days, I've decided to just go full defense, and it's been more consistent. Alright, this is my first water break. Because you can't skip this cutscene. Or fast forward through it. Alright. From here, we're going to go to the Shrine of Rain in the basement and grab the Staff of Rain. And then we'll be going to the Fairy Village, alchemizing those Hextract. We picked up 4 of them into Oomph Powders to use for the late game. We have one more late game boss, and then we're off to fight the Dragon Lord. Music ends. And I can skip now. Let's go. Rubus arrives. She's going to clear the darkness. She's going to empower the fairies and also empower Gwaelin to have an ability that will give us massive regeneration and defense. And we never, ever, ever want her to use it because it won't let us stay in 50% health and then we can't proc our cool abilities to kill things. So, we want her to stand in the back and not help us ever. Please. Shrine of Rain. Alright, let's go. Turns out the Staff of Rain was literally sitting in an invisible treasure chest next to this guy all along. We didn't have to fight Gargoyle and save him. We could have just walked down here and got it, which makes me sad. But that's okay, because we're through. Okay, Fairy Village. we have a little bit of menuing to do here as well. We're gonna roll up. Oh, Millman, we're doing great. Great time. Okay. We're gonna do oomph powder, all 4 of them, and then back out of this. I have to bag all that strong medicine that we didn't use. So here, strong medicine, bag it, bag it, bag it, and then take out our 4 oomph powders, all of them, and then we're zooming to the Wayfarer's Inn, outside of it, and go. Good. Here we're gonna re-equip our Hermes hat and the Glombolero pad foot, and then we're running. We have our oomph powers. We're all set to go. Our next fight is against Armageddon, a big armored multi-sworded skeleton. We're gonna take a little bit of swamp damage that we're gonna heal up here, and then we're gonna hope, as always, that in his rounds he takes us to 50% health. We may have to do some unequipping and re-equipping if if that doesn't happen. Proc our little cutscene here. And then we're ready. This is the fight where we picked up strength seeds for, because we need to be able to kill him quickly because he regenerates way too much health. His first turn he will use fog to stop spells. So we're going to fairy foil and buffer defense. And then we're going to use an oomph powder. He hits us pretty good, but not hard enough. So we're going to unequip our Hermes hat, so he hits us harder while we wild side. Good, now we're in good shape. And now we want to equip that Hermes hat again. Wild side and divide. And then we're going to use our new Falcon Slash and hope that we have gained enough strength to take him out. We sure haven't. And he's going to be alive here. And we're going to be dead. That's really unfortunate. We must have rolled horrendous on strength. We should be dealing 100 to 105 damage on that. This is a problem. Alright. We're going to try this again. If this fails twice, then we may use some crazy strats. Alright, oomph powder. Alright, unequip Hermes hat and wild side. Let's re-equip our Phantom Mask and wild side divide. Whoa, my screen went crazy there. He missed. Alright, here I need to use my Staff of Divine Wrath to deal damage. He's going to regenerate a little bit extra damage. Waylon heals us. Okay. And then let's use Falcon Slash again. And that's enough. My screen is going nuts. I don't know what's going on with that. Never had that happen before, but we got through. Whew. I've never seen that visual bug before. Alright. Small cutscene. Behind this throne is a Sage's Elixir. We're going to grab it. We're going to do some re-equipping and some item stuff. And then we're off to get the Rainbow Drop. And we're going to go win the game. Okay, with Staff of Brain in hand, Sacred Amulet, and Stones of Sunlight, you have all 3 things you need to create the Rainbow Drop. At this point, we're going to re-equip our Dark Robe for defense, and we're going to take out the Mark of Erdrick, but not equip it, and then go outside of Rimmelder, and we're ready. Good. We died, so pad foot and sprint, and we go. And now we are in the longest walk of the game. Takes about 10 minutes. Probably like 8.5 to 9 minutes, actually, to get through to the Dragon Lord while going to drop the Rainbow Drop. We're going to be doing a lot of pad footing. We grabbed that Sage's Elixir so we can preemptively pad foot before ours runs out to save a little bit of time. And a lot of trying to dodge enemies. We equipped that Dark Robe so that we wouldn't be taking as many hits. We still have our Phantom Mask up because we equipped it in that fight. And we drop the bridge. And we get the cutscene of the Dragon Lord talking to somebody behind the scenes who has been delving these machinations all along. And so the end draweth near. And we go. Let's run fast. The bridge is up. We're off to Dragon Lord's castle. It's a bit of a maze. It looks wrecked and destroyed as it was Zoma's castle at one point. And you can see there's even a couple little Easter eggs where the directional tiles from Dragon Warrior 3 are lying crumbled on the ground. I'll try to point them out when we get to them. Mechanical difference between pad foot and Holy Protection. Holy Protection only works if you are higher level than the enemies in your zone, while pad foot works in every zone, regardless of whether the enemies are higher than your level or not. Holy Protection, if you can use it, is better. It means 0 encounters, but for most of the game, we're too low level for Holy Protection to stop encounters. Hopefully that's enough of a description to tell you what you need. Yeah, pad foot only lowers the chance, but it lowers the chance by a pretty set amount. I know in most of the game when I'm going to take an encounter, because I've played it enough and it happens in the same spot often enough that we can use it to predict encounters, which we can also use to break encounters by going into stairs and into locations. Oops, I should be skipping this cutscene. Oops. Staying close. Ah, we got the encounter. Drat. And we're out. We're good. We're good. And we're running. Boo. Alright, we have one thing to do in here before we go fight the Dragon Lord, and that is hunt down Erdrick's sword. The only piece of Erdrick's equipment we're going to take for this entire run. Erdrick's armor is in Hawksness, blocked by the Axe Knight. Very hard fight. Not worth our time to get it. Erdrick's shield is actually in the Weeping Isle by where we picked up the Kakrak scroll. Erdrick's helmet is behind a huge group of cutscenes with the bard that we saw earlier in the game, and is actually located on a far-off isle hiding that we can't get to except through use of the fairies. All of these pieces of gear are awesome and make a lot of the fights way easier, except they keep you from dropping into 50% health, so we can't use our powerful abilities to kill the boss, so in the speedrun, we don't get them. However, we will be grabbing Erdrick's sword. Without Erdrick's sword, it is very hard to win the game. And we're going to get a massive attack power boost when we equip it over the Dragon's Bane Claws. Oop, I almost went the wrong way. I love how Waylon carries the torch while you carry her. Hey, Dabbit, welcome in. Nearing the end. Alright, let's go. Here we get to go south and finally take the divergent path on the way to the sword. do. Getting closer. We got it. I love the head nod here. Now we got a weapon. And we run. If you look on the left here, you can see after this encounter are the directionality tiles from Dragon Warrior 3. And crumbles on the ground. Hold on, we gotta heal first. There it is, right there, and right there, and right there. Which I thought was a nice little homage, as they literally crumbled and fell to the floors below them after Zona's castle got destroyed. Boom. Let's go. I'm going the wrong way. Why am I going the wrong way? Oops. Yeah, I know, those are, I have visual, those are a pain in the butt. Alright. Nearing the end. We have entered the basement with the ominous music. No treasury for us. We don't need any other items. Matter of fact, we're going to take swamp damage and we won't even need to heal before the fight, because for the next two fights, once again, we need to get to half health quickly. And we can still be trolled. Especially by Dragon Lord 1. And by apparently getting our MP reduced and falling asleep, but we woke up though, so we're good. We'll heal here. Love the music. Last Padfoot and cutscene. Believe we aren't going to take any more encounters. We're going to take this swamp damage before we get to the Dragon Lord. We are going to do some re-equipping. We need to put different gear on. We need to use our Sage's Elixir that we picked up to fully restock our MP. And then we're going. Alright, equipment. We're equipping the Hermes hat and the Glombolero and the Asbestos earrings, which we have equipped, and the Strength ring, and using the Sage's Elixir full MP, and we go. He'll ask us if we want to join him. We're going to say no. We're going to say no again. You always hit B. Alright, starting out, Wound Powder. Fizzle is fine, but he hasn't done any damage to us. So we need to go ahead and unequip our Asbestos earrings so that we take more fire damage here, because we're going to Wild Side. Perfect. We're in critical health. Wild Side's up. And we're going to equip those Asbestos earrings. Oh, we unequipped the Strength ring. That was a mistake. We're going to equip the Tectonic plate, and now we're good. Wild Side and Divide. Will we get trolled? No troll. And boom. Oh, we didn't kill him. Oh no, hit him hard. We didn't die. We're good, we're good. Come on. No, he outsped us. You son of a gun. I cannot believe we didn't do enough damage to kill him. Wow, we must really be deficient on strength. That's terrible. Let's go. Let's try again. Bounce is fine. Unequip the asbestos earrings for real this time. And wild side. Okay. Re-equip the asbestos earrings and the tectonic plate. Wild side and divide. We don't fall asleep. Come on, we gotta get him here. Not enough damage. You focus as hard as you can, sir. Oh no. See, this is something I don't really account for. Because I've never had not enough strength to kill the Dragon Lord here. Come on. You're going to see us running the same fight the same way for a while. I think we go ahead and wild side without unequipping anything. And we put tectonic plate here so maybe we can survive an extra round. About 200 damage short. As long as he attacks on that last turn, we're in trouble. I think he has 3,200 health, and we're dealing like 3,070 right now, so we don't have enough strength. I don't have a real way to get around that, other than maybe we need to just get lucky. So let's get lucky. Alright, let's go ahead and equip the tectonic plate now, so we don't take as much damage and wild side. Well, nope, that didn't really help. I put us to sleep. We're screwed anyways. Okay, try again. Yeah, it is true trolling right now. Because we should be done with the game at this point. Dragon Lord Fight 2 does not take that long, and there are ways to win that even if your strength is not as great. Alright, powder. Okay. Alright, let's go ahead and equip tectonic plate, and let's equip the nope, re-equip it, please. And unequip this for the Phantom Mask, so maybe we can dodge this attack. Fizzle is fine. We're 100 away. We're 100 away. Nope. Well, I have enough MP here, so I think we put the Dark Robe on to avoid the physical attack in that round. Let's try that. Not like we have an extra round available to us to just hit him once, because we're really 100 damage away. We're super close. Alright, equip Phantom Mask and Tectonic Plate here for the magical damage turn. Okay. We're not even in half health. Alright, well, we're going to use this. We're going to use... Alright, we're going to equip... Yes, we're going to do Double Dragon Slash now. There's our damage. Of course we fall asleep. Nah, we're just toast. Take the death. It was weird. I waited until like round 7 before he physically attacked me there. No dragon scales. Which is, it's funny that I grabbed 2 extra strength seeds in my run and we still rolled so poorly that we're in trouble. Alright, let's go ahead. We're going to keep the Glombolero on, equip the Phantom Mask. We're going to unequip the Asbestos Earrings so we take fire damage. We're at a wild side. It should... Okay. And then now we're going to go with Dark Robe and Asbestos Earrings here. So we have maximum dodge ability. So we can perhaps dodge an attack. We don't get put to sleep. 1508, 1529. Dodges attack. Yes! Got him. Alright, we got through it. We figured it out. Alright, deal 2. Dragonlord 2 has 5,000 health. Immediately go to our equipment. We need to have the Tectonic Plate equipped. And we definitely want the Hermes hat equipped. And then Special Strength Ring. Alright, we're going to start with the Reheal spell. Okay, take damage. Assess the situation is fine. Ooh, powder. More heal is fine. Colorado is great. Now he's going to chomp us, so we're going to Defending Champions. We take minimal damage for it. Even though we already powdered, and we're wasting some of it, we just can't take that damage. Here, we're going to Dragon Slash. And he hits us and puts us in critical health, allowing us to double Dragon Slash. There's 500 damage. I think here we need to Defending Champion, so we don't die. Yep. And then we powder again. And then from here, we're going to Wild Side. Take just enough damage to go in critical health. Dividing. Let's see how much we do. That seemed like way not even close to what we needed. And then from here... Oh, I know why we didn't have enough. Okay, well, we're going to try one more double Dragon Slash. I think we're going to die. Nope, maybe not. Here we have to Defending Champion to avoid dying. I think missing might have saved us there. Yep, okay. Come on. No, he attacks, kills us. I know my mistake. This turn we're gonna get it. Maybe. Alright, come on. Okay, equipment. Equipment first. Alright. Tectonic Plate, Hermes hat, Asbestos and Strength Earrings. Start with Reheal. Oomph Powder. Pay attention to what he does. He casts Oomph. So here we're going to use Pin Cushion, which is upgraded Defending Champion. So he hits us for a little bit and we counterattack him. So we've done 100 damage to him. 200 damage to him. And here we're going to Defending Champion again. Because with Oomph, he's going to crush us if we're not careful. And one more time, this time with a Pin Cushion. Alright, and then Oomph Powder. Wild Side. Get me into 50% health. Oh, we're not even at 50% health. Uh-oh, we're dead. Alright, then let's go ahead and throw damage on him. Frozen with Fear. Waylon heals us. I think we're toast. We might try to bust our way through them. We're out of fighters, so we're in trouble. I think we just take the defending and take the bites to the face and start over. Ugh. Well, we were on pace for a sub 155 before Dragon Lord trolling. We can still do this, though. We can still get it. Equipment first. Alright, we want Hermes hat and tectonic plate and reheal. Oomph powder. Accelerado. More heal is good. He's not oomphed. So we're a defending champion, then we're going to get a chance to actually hit him. Double Dragon Slash, please. 623 is good. I think we take the time to do one more of these. Oh, he missed us. That's great. That's great. That's great. We get value out of our Oomph Powder. He's taken 1,000 damage. Oomph Powder again. Let's go. Sizz hits us a little bit. Inferno won't touch us. Wild Side. Wild Side Divide. Here was my mistake from before. We're going to equip the Mark of Erdrick. And we're going to put it over our Asbestos Earrings to give us extra luck, which gives us extra damage. And there's our 2,000 damage. And there's the screen going crazy as the Dragon Lords dies. And that is time. 2 hours and about 36 minutes. And that's the game. Truly to the end. But in the end, by putting on the right equipment this time, we did 4,400 damage to a 5,000 health Dragon Lord in one hit and took him out. Thank you for the GGs, everybody. Yep, a little bit underestimate because, well, you've seen how trolly the game was. But yeah, we were able to get through it. Appreciate it, friends. That was a lot of fun. This game is a blast. Learning how to use those abilities and just wiping bosses off the map is just fun. I highly recommend anybody who thinks they like what they saw here today to take this up. There are notes in the Discord if you're interested. Silver has put a route together. I have put a route together. They're different. They diverge a little bit. They give you choices, and they're both fun. Alright, and we can let the cutscenes play out here, but as soon as you're ready, Countess, you can take me out. That's the game. I appreciate it. Jamiris is coming up next for Dragon Quest 6, which should be a lot of fun. You will see me again in the Chunsoft Relay tomorrow. Be playing Dragon Warrior 3 single segment going against Crimson, and it will be super, super late at night. So I'm gonna get myself some good sleep and a nap in the morning and see what I can do. Oh, we got him. Let's see here. I guarantee you somebody can link the Discord. If we have a mod there who knows how to do that. It might just be literally like exclamation Discord.